listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello and welcome to Six Figure Dog Business on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Ty Brown of SixFigureDogBusiness.com. Now, this is the show where we teach you how to start or grow your dog-related business to a healthy six-figure per year profit. Now, today on the show, I'm really excited. I've been a student of this gentleman for quite a long time now. I've studied him. I've studied what he teaches. And he's not even in the dog industry. So we're going outside of the dog industry today to find an expert that I think is going to bring you a ton of amazing information. So we're going to go to a break. Stick with us. When we come back, we're going to be interviewing Michael Senoff. So stay right with us. We'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause.
Be sure to tune in when Pet Life Radio goes live from Global Pet Expo, the world's largest annual pet products trade show. March 25th through the 27th, you can catch all the new products coming out for our pets before they even hit store shelves. From the latest in all-natural and eco-friendly products to the most elegant in pet pampering and high-tech innovations from companies all over the globe. It's at Global Pet Expo. Nearly 800 companies will be displaying new and exciting products to make time with our pets even better. Tune in March 25th through the 27th for everything Global Pet Expo.
It's time for school for you and your friends, your furry best friends. Train your dog the fun and easy way with Teacher's Pet Sessions. Teacher's Pet host Pia Silvani teaches you step-by-step how to train your dog the fun and easy way. You get 8 30-minute live audio training sessions, complete transcripts of each session, plus a basic training manual to get you and your dog off to a great start. Training begins the moment you bring your dog home. Teacher's Pet Sessions offers positive reinforcement training to shape your dog's behavior and encourages upbeat, enthusiastic responses to ensure that your dog will enjoy learning. Teacher's Pet Sessions dog training is fun at both ends of the leash. So listen, learn, and laugh with your dog with Teacher's Pet Sessions. Get your copy of Teacher's Pet Sessions Volume 1 today. To order, go to teacherspetsessions.com.
Hi, this is Pia Silvani, your host. Bring your dog, tug toy, and treats, and get ready to have some fun.
teacherspetsessions.com.
This valuable information comes from your pet. There's nothing like a wagging tail or friendly paw to lift your mood. They're therapeutic and make us feel good. Studies show pets even reduce stress, prevent heart disease, lower blood pressure, and fight depression. So there you have it. Pets are a daily dose of good health and happiness. Pets add life. To learn more, visit petsaddlife.org.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. Oh Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand. This is the place for a special paparazzi treat. Only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Okay, now we're back, and with us today, like I said in my intro, we've got Michael Senoff with us. And I'm really excited because, like I said, I've been studying this guy for a while. He's got a ton of great information. When he agreed to be on the show, I was thrilled because I know the stuff that he has is unique. I've never heard anyone else teach this. Not only that, I know it's something that could help people like us, small business owners that have a service-based business. And so, for starters, welcome to the show, Michael. So thrilled to have you on.
Ty, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure, and I look forward to helping any of your listeners out the best I can.
Well, for starters, why don't you just go ahead and give us a brief biography of who you are and what it is you do?
Okay, I'll give you the Cliff Notes section. Now, I do have a longer version section for anyone who's interested in it, and I'm all about leverage. I know we only have a short time here, so I want to give your listeners the most value I can. So by doing that, I would tell anyone who really wants to get into what I'm about to head over to my site called hardtofindseminars.com, and I have a bio section which will give you the full story. But basically what I've been doing for the last 7 or 8, 9 years, I'm losing track, I got into buying and reselling hard-to-find seminars. These are seminars that some people would pay $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to go to, where they would learn a certain subject, specifically marketing, and then they would come home with all the tapes and all the books and stuff. And then I wanted to buy some of that stuff, but I didn't have any money, so I started buying from people who paid the big bucks for these seminars, and I'd buy them off the people who did nothing with it for 10 cents on the dollar, and then I would start reselling the stuff on eBay. So I was really in an eBay business, buying and selling hard-to-find seminars. And then I built this website to get outside of eBay. And the way I wanted people coming back to my website time and time again is I would have to put up good content on my website, which were audio interviews. So the only reason I started doing audio interviews on hardtofindseminars.com was to get people to come back to my site so they could accidentally fall over some of the hard-to-find seminars that I was reselling. And for about 5 years, I started interviewing all these experts on business. I was just looking for good content to put on my website to use as a tool to bring people back to my site so I could sell my other stuff. In a nutshell, that's what I've been doing.
And that's what attracted me to your site in the first place. And when those that are listening go to the site, hardtofindseminars.com, you're going to find over 100 hours of free content on marketing and whatnot. And I found so much great information there. And the more I listened to you, the more I realized I needed to apply this to myself. Because one thing that you're great at doing, Michael, is you're great at using audio as an automated selling system. Because initially when I got into this business, I realized something. I realized that I could only make as much money as I have time in the day. And that's what every dog trainer, every dog groomer, every pet sitter, every dog walker is dealing with is you've got time in the day, and like you mentioned earlier, you need to leverage it. So, can I ask you that? According to your definition, what is an audio automated selling system? I mean, what is that? How does it help people?
Good question. An audio automated selling system. Look, you've got dog groomers, you've got dog walkers, you've got all kinds of pet-related businesses. So these business owners have to ask themselves, what is it that's killing up and eating up their time? The way I've been able to use audio on the internet is to pre-sell. Number one, the most important thing you got to pre-sell and sell is yourself. What is it you do? What are you offering? What are you selling? And the internet, the good old internet, offers a virtually free way to do that to potential prospects and to potential customers. So if you're a dog walker and you're in a coffee shop and you've got your dogs with you, and then you've got some other lady there who's got a dog there, and you guys start having a conversation, and she goes, well, what do you do? And you're the dog walker. Well, that's your chance to sell her on what you do and why she should hire you to have you walk her dogs. Anything that you'd be telling that woman at the coffee shop in person, if you had the opportunity to give her your best pitch, to tell her all about your love for dogs and how you started walking dogs when you were a young boy growing up on the farm, and you had a special bond with dogs that you didn't know anyone who had the same bond with, and it grew into a business, and then you opened up your first store here, and you gave her all the reasons why you love walking dogs and how you're different from all the other dog walkers in the neighborhood. And when the dogs come back from the walk, you feed them the highest grade dog food, and you give them water that's purified through a 5-stage osmosis filter. It's that opportunity for you to sell one-on-one, but automated selling system will take that same information that you're telling the lady, using up your precious 24 hours that we all have in that day, telling her one-to-one. The automated system would be you capturing your sales pitch or that same message you're giving that lady in the coffee shop and recording it digitally and putting that recording up onto the internet or onto a CD or typed out in word-for-word transcript relationships where you go from selling one-on-one to selling one-to-many. So it takes you out of the picture by capturing your sales pitch in an audio way, and that's what my audio recordings are. Many of them are designed to sell the listener on something, but it's doing it automatically without me doing it one-on-one on the phone. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense, and I wanted to highlight something that you talked about in the beginning of what you were saying, is that here you are, you're talking with this woman. It's a one-on-one sales situation. Maybe it's a woman in a coffee shop. Maybe it's somebody that called you the dog walker. But you're talking with this woman, and you're giving her your life story, but you're also giving her the benefits of working with you. Now, from listening to your audios, I know that you call this your USP, which is your unique selling proposition, correct?
Correct.
And so everybody should have a unique selling proposition. So everyone that's listening to this, you'd better understand why somebody should be working with you. And so what you're saying, Michael, is when that's clear, when somebody understands, okay, people should be working with me because A, I'm more professional, B, my company has better service, C, we use a better quality dog food. You know, we go through the list A to Z. That's our unique selling proposition. That is what should be coming out in our sales pitches, and that is what goes into our automated selling system, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, we are talking two aspects of this whole automated selling system. The actual automated selling system is being able to deliver your message automatically through the internet without you being involved. Just like you and I, we're doing this interview. You are live on one end of the phone. I am live on the other end of the phone. We are both using up our minutes that we have during the day. But after we stop this interview and after we clean up and edit and get this digitized audio recording up on the radio show, now we have our automated selling message. Well, we may not be selling any product or service specifically, but we are selling one thing. We're selling ourselves. I'm selling your listeners on me, that I'm an expert in my field, that I have credibility. You're doing the same by providing your listeners a lot of value. So just because we're not selling a specific product, we are always selling ourselves. So one aspect is the automated delivery of our selling message. Now, when you talk about USP, now we're getting into marketing. And yes, all of your listeners who have a small pet business, pet grooming, pet walking, whatever it is, now we're talking marketing. And my website, hardtofindseminars.com, is like a graduate school in interviews about marketing. Now, I would guess a bunch of your listeners, the main thing that they're selling is price. We can walk your dog cheaper than the guy down the street. And the reason you see most people selling on price is because they don't know what makes them special, or they've never thought about what makes them unique. And that's the question all of your small business owners need to ask themselves. Why should I choose you over the other guy? What reasons other than price? And this comes into the whole arena of marketing and differentiating yourself from your marketplace. I must have 50 hours of audio interviews that will train you how to be different. And when you can articulate what makes yourself different, you don't have to compete on price. You don't have to be the lowest price, and you can sometimes charge 2 and 3 times more for your products or for your service if you're able to articulate and position yourself as the only one. And you have the time to do that when you're creating a selling message and delivering it automatically, because you're out of the picture. You can't talk to 100 ladies in a coffee shop a day. You drop dead from being tired. But your internet or a CD delivered to potential prospects can talk to 10,000 people a day. And that's enough people to find the ones willing to pay the higher price and not just the low price shoppers. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. Now let me ask you this, though, because we're talking about an audio automated selling system. In other words, the spoken word. In your experience, would you consider, because a lot of people out there that are listening to this, they say, I have a website, I have my automated selling system, but I would guess that 99.9% of the time it's just written copy. And so how does audio fit in? Is it more powerful? Why is it more powerful? Why do you use audio rather than the written word?
We're going to do about a 30-minute interview, and we're going to talk about a lot more stuff. And first of all, from a marketing standpoint, it's very easy to create information content by doing an interview style or by talking and recording audio. I mean, when you ask someone to sit down and write a page on your website why you're unique, people start to freeze up. But if you just record a casual conversation between two people, your emotions aren't governing what you're saying. And sometimes when you're not under pressure, you're saying stuff that really makes sense and that's really easy when you're doing it in a manner that you're used to. and we're all used to talking. I mean, for however many years we've been around, we've been talking, but writing is very different. So it comes easier to get your message out and to describe what makes you special and specific and unique compared to your competition by using audio. Plus, you can do it faster and quicker, and when someone comes to your website, you want to actually offer your full story. So with audio, you're able to give a complete selling message. You're able to tell your full story. And then when we look at copywriting, if you're writing a sales letter, it has been proven over and over again, the longer the sales letter is, the more effective it is in selling. A 2-page sales letter will outpull a 1-page sales letter. A 4-page will outpull a 2-page. A 16-page will outpull an 8-page. And so audio allows you to compact a lot of information, and it also allows you to connect with your listener on a more emotional level compared to just reading words off a screen.
And that's a very interesting concept that you brought up, because I think a lot of people are afraid to add too much. You know, in fact, most of the websites, when I consult with other dog business owners and I work with them on their websites or their messages or their USP or what have you, I find that most of them, it's bare bones. You go to their website and they say, we offer this, and we offer this, and we offer this. And so I always call it a business card website. You know, you don't get much information off of a business card, and very few people ever buy because they say, oh, look at this business card. What you're saying, though, is that give them more, right? I mean, give them more, educate them, and they're more likely to buy from you?
I'm saying, look, if you're trying to make a sale, or if you're trying to sway someone to use your dog walking service over every other dog walking service in your area or your town or your city or your state or what have you, you may only have one time to make that sales argument. So if you only have one time and you're not doing it face-to-face, give them everything you got. Give them all your best reasons first. Don't just give them a Me Too site that maybe you copied from the Yellow Pages or from someone else's site. You want to give them all your ammunition, as much as you can, that is filled with what's in it for me, for that reader, or for that listener, to get the sale. So I say go out with all guns blazing, because you only have one chance to get them in many cases. And you don't want to let just a few reasons why, like if you're competing on price, you know, you'll lose them. So you only have one chance to get that customer, and if it's done automated, you have nothing to lose, and you'll get more sales, and you'll be able to charge more for your products and services.
Now, I hope people that are listening to this are saying in their minds, okay, audio, automated system, that sounds good, but how do I do it? We're going to go to a break right now, and when we come back, I'm going to pick your brain on exactly how to do it. You know, how are we going to create this audio automated selling system? Are there good ways? Are there bad ways? How to do it? And then I want to pick your brain on, I've been doing this myself after becoming your student, and I want to hear what you have to think about how I'm doing it, if I'm doing it right, wrong, or whatever I need to change. So stick with us, folks. We're going to be right back with Michael Senoff. Stay right with us. Okay, and we're back, and in the last break, we were talking with Michael Senoff here of HardToFindSeminars.com, and we were talking about creating an automated audio selling system. In other words, instead of trying to be on the phone all day long, trying to pre-qualify your prospects, sell them on your services, why not have a system that does a lot of that for you ahead of time? And so, great system. I've been trying to do it myself, but I wanted to kind of get into the nuts and bolts of how to do it. And so somebody says to themselves, okay, this is a great idea. What's the next step? I mean, do they talk into a microphone? Do they have somebody interview them? What's the next step here?
It's really simple, okay? And I would tell you the best thing to do would be to have someone interview you. You've been walking dogs, or you've been training dogs, or pet sitting dogs, you know, your listeners for however many years or however long. What you want to do is you want to be able to just tell your story. So you can find a friend or a family member to interview you about your story, and just start from the very beginning and have them ask, how did you get into all this? How did you start walking dogs? And you can write out questions. You can make notes for your family member or your friend who's going to interview you. But basically what you want to do is get your full story recorded digitally. So you're going to need a couple tools. You're going to need a digital recorder, which you can find up on eBay, a digital recorder that allows you to plug into your phone. There are some other services that allow you to record digitally, and it'd probably be too much to explain all the technical stuff, but if anyone wanted to email me and go to my site, HardToFindSeminars.com, and shoot me an email, there's a contact section, and just say you listen to the radio interview, I've got a full report that I'd be willing to send you you at no cost on how to record audio digitally. So I'll give you the tools and the different things you need to do that. But the most important thing is to have someone interview you. And you're going to be nervous at first. You're going to think your voice sounds stupid. You're going to think you sound funny, and you're going to be afraid a little bit at first. But have them interview you a couple of times. And what you want to do, let's say you get interviewed 3 times about your story and what you're good at and why you love it and the services you offer and the prices you offer, and maybe talk about some of your customers. Why do your customers keep coming back? Just talk about as much specifics as you can about what you offer and why someone should choose you over someone else. You can plan this out and make notes for yourself and capture that digitally. And then once you have that sales message and you're happy with the way it sounds, then you have the magic of editing. Now, I'm doing this interview right now, and I'm a human being like everyone else, and I stutter and I stammer and I say and I say but you can clean that all up and make yourself sound like a champ with some good editing software. And you don't even have to know how to do it. You can put an ad on Craigslist and say, hey, I've got this digital audio interview and I need some kid who's really good with editing software to clean it up for me. And you say, I'll be willing to pay $12 an hour. And within 15 minutes from the time you post your ad up on Craigslist, you'll have kids saying, yeah, I can do that for you at $12 an hour. So have people do the technical stuff for you who are good at it. And don't let that stop you. The most important thing is to get your sales pitch, to get your story recorded digitally. Do it once and have a good recording, and then you're done. You can use that recording over and over again to sell your products and services without you even being in the picture. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. What recommendations do you have for people? They've outlined what they're good at. They've outlined the benefits of their business. They've gone ahead. They've done the recording. Now they have this recording. What would you say, and maybe this is opening up a can of worms, maybe there's a lot of ways, but what do you say is the best way to deliver that or get that into the hands of potential clients?
Well, if you're working locally, I think there's a couple different ways. I think you should at least take that recording and have it turned into a recording where someone can go to your website and they can click on a button and play the recording. Also, have a way for someone to be able to download the recording as an MP3. Everyone now has smartphones. They all have iPods and Walkmans. People, and especially the younger people, they are taking audio and taking their music with them on the go. Do not make someone be locked onto your website where they can play only. Give them the ability to download an MP3 and take it with them so when they're walking their dog, they can hear your whole story and your sales pitch and your love for dogs and why they should consider hiring you and calling you to do their dog walking. That's number one. You can also, if you're seeing a lot of your local customers and they're coming into a shop or they're coming into your home, you can take that audio recording and create a CD. So you can put it on a CD and hand out a CD. You can duplicate these CDs for under $1 a piece. And you can print on it 5 mistakes people make when hiring a dog walker or a consumer's guide to dog walking and offer valuable information on that CD. You could also pay someone to transcribe your audio interview after it's done, and you can print out the transcript. So it may end up being 20 or 30 pages of typed transcripts, and you can hand that out. You can mail that to potential prospects, and you can call it a report. The whole idea is to make it easy for potential prospects to get and listen to your full story. If it's not going to be internet related, then make it a physical CD. If people don't have a CD player, print out transcripts and hand them the paper or mail them the paper. The point is, every one of those methods is your story, your best-selling pitch, and it's automated because you only recorded it one time. That's going to be the hardest work you do, is doing the interview once and having it cleaned up by someone or doing the editing yourself. But that's your sales pitch, just like an infomercial on TV that can run in 1,000 different markets all in the same day, selling to people all over the country. That's what you want to do. No different than an infomercial, but yours is an audio infomercial.
And you brought up some great points. I know some people listening to this might say, I don't know if I want to print it onto a CD, $1 a piece. But I encourage people to just think about that. Let's say it takes you 10 CDs to land one client, $10 to get a client. That's a cheap client acquisition amount. And so you bring up a really amazing point there. Invest in your business, and whether people are getting it online or whether people are getting it in their hands, now they've got your story. And that's amazing. And so, like I said, what I wanted to do is I wanted to pick your brain and see what you thought about what I was doing, if there's areas I could improve. I've been listening to the audios on your site, hardtofindseminars.com, for quite a while now, and I realized, boy, I'm listening to this stuff and I'm not applying it. And that's one thing I'm always getting all over my clients. I say, okay, you got to apply this, apply this, apply this. And so listening to your site, I said, okay, I got to apply it. So I've done a couple things. For starters, I had my wife interview me, and I kind of went over the reasons why I feel that we're better. You know, when we talked about some of those things, we talked about my story, we talked about things like that. And now that's on my homepage. People can go listen to that.
Perfect.
The second thing I did was I started thinking, okay, where am I really good at certain things? Where is my company really good? And we're really good at fixing aggression in dogs, for example. And we're really good at house training dogs, as another example. And so what I did is I sent an email out to my list of dog owners, and it's 10,000 people. And I said, hey, I'm going to be doing a teleseminar about dog aggression. And so I just did the teleseminar, and I recorded it, and now that recording is up on my website. And so it's just me acting as the authority in front of a large group of dog owners from around the country even, talking about how to fix a problem. And I didn't try to sell a thing. Am I okay in doing that?
Perfectly okay in what you're doing, and you should do that. And every one of your listeners who has a small pet-related business should be doing that, because once you do an audio interview and you publish it, you are a producer, you are a publisher, believe it or not. And when someone listens to your audio interview, you are establishing credibility as an expert, and it's all good positioning. When we watch the newscasters on the news, we perceive them as credible. When we meet someone who has published a book on a specific topic, we look at them as credible. When we read the newspaper, we look at that as credible. When we hear someone being interviewed on a website or on the radio or on TV, that's all credibility boosting, and that's what you want to do. You appear more credible by telling your story, and so the positioning is there, and what you're doing is exactly what you should be doing, giving good value, giving first, giving value, sharing some of your hard-won knowledge. People will remember that, and they'll appreciate that. And if you give, you will eventually get back. And what you'll receive is you'll receive a customer down the road somewhere, even when you don't expect it. You just never know where your next customer is going to come from. I'll give you a perfect example. I had a call from a gentleman from Tanzania, and he called and left a message on my phone, and I hadn't called him back for 3 days, and I had to figure out what time it was in Tanzania, and I called him, and it took me 3 times to get it to go through, and then finally it rang. I couldn't tell if it was a busy signal or a ringtone, but he answered the phone, and then we reconnected. He told me, Michael, I've been listening to your audio interviews for 6 years. And so he's been listening to my stuff for 6 years, but now is the first time he's going to buy something from me, and he's going to come in as one of my HMA marketing consultants. So by having your audio out there on the internet or being able to have it downloaded, it starts getting passed around. An MP3 file can go viral. People will share it. It can be captured by other places on the internet. And I do want to mention, I have a full-on course which will help anyone interested on learning how to use audio to position themselves as an expert and how to get their best-selling message and to use audio to sell and promote whatever it is they do. And it's up on my site at hardtofindseminars.com/AMS. Capital A as in Apple, M as in Michael, S as in Sam, .htm. That's hardtofindseminars.com/capital AMS.htm. And I have probably 20 hours of one-on-one consults and training with people, and I offer this product for only $20. So anyone interested in this, I would highly recommend them to check out Audio Marketing Secrets, which covers everything in a lot more detail, and I promise you, you'll only benefit from this content.
Well, I invested in that product that you're mentioning, and I love it. There's tons of great interviews on there, and that's when I invested in that I really started doing it on my site. And yeah, like I say, just a big testimonial here. I've seen a lot more sales starting to come through, people mentioning, hey, I heard that audio you had on your site, got some good ideas, thank you, and then they become clients. And so this has been some amazing information, and as always, folks that are listening out there, it does you no good if you don't apply it. So please, get out there, start applying it, and start using this stuff. Now, if you'd like transcripts of this show or any other show on Pet Life Radio, just go to PetLifeRadio.com and click on Six Figure Dog Business. And if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, just email me at ty@PetLifeRadio.com or go to my website, SixFigureDogBusiness.com. Thank you again, Michael, for being on the show. This has been amazing information. I appreciate it so much.
Ty, thanks for having me, and I wish all your listeners the best of luck. And if there's anything they need, don't hesitate to contact me.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.